Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, Managing Partner with Levinson and Associates. With me today, we have the Joseph Lochran joining us, as well as our special guest speaker. So I'm going to introduce Tyler in just a few minutes here, but I want to jump in just to give everyone a 100-foot overview of today's webinar, IUL Training. And I'm also going to talk about some of the value add and resources that are available to you as soon as this afternoon. And most of everything that you're about to see within the next hour is 100% complimentary if you're an active Levinson agent. Okay, so make sure you pay attention. We have some great giveaways. We have two, in fact. One is our Amazon Echo, and then one is the Amazon Fire tablet with built-in Alexa. So the way that's going to work, very simply, you answer first. We're going to have two questions. Whoever answers correctly and first wins the incentives, okay? So make sure you're paying attention because the two questions have to do with our slides that you're going to see within the next 45 to 60 minutes here. So make sure you're jotting down notes, okay? I'm going to ask two very easy questions that we're going to go over. I'm going to mention a couple times in the slides that you're about to see. So we'll also announce the winners at the end of the call. And again, whoever's first to answer correctly wins the prizes, and then it's your choice, by the way. So you tell us if you want the Fire tablet or the Amazon Echo. We mail it out, no charge this afternoon. Okay, so what you're about to witness here is our IUL training platform and all of our value add that Levinson brings to the table just by you being an active Levinson agent. Now, you have to remember, you know, we have some younger agents, we have some more veteran type agents that maybe never sold an IUL. We have some that are IUL professionals that literally sell one a week. This is great for everyone because you're going to see a bunch of technology, tools, software that caters to all of the above. And if one thing is for you and then maybe the software isn't, or if you don't like the scholarship program but you love the software, that's great too. My goal, as you know, we have 17,000 agents, and our goal here at Levinson is to provide as much value add lead generators, door openers, real leads, seminar programs, all of the above. And then you basically just take your pick and whatever works for you, wonderful. But we want to be the first to roll most of this stuff out to you on literally on a daily basis. Okay, so let's jump right in here. Now, what we're going to do first is we have put together all of these resources, and we try to simplify your world here. And there's two ways that you can go in just to see what's available to you by working with us. So the first one is our training platform. So if you log into the Levinson website, it's either levinsonassociates.com or kerrylevinson.com. That's our main site. You can just click on iGenius, and it'll be under Agent Tools, and then you'll see the training platform, and there's all of these tiles. That's what you're looking at on the left side. You literally just click whichever button that you would like to see more information on, and then we give you all of the info at your fingertips in real time, okay? It's very, very easy. We even have an IUL Experience microsite that we built just for selling indexed universal life, okay? Most of our premium comes from IUL, and I hope you're leveraging these platforms and doing the same because most of these cases are monsters, which means the commissions are huge. So if you're not in this space now, I'm encouraging you to take a look, get comfortable. I'm also going to note one more thing. We have Joe Ross, who is the Master IUL Coach. He's our keynote speaker at this year's Levinson Expo. He's going to be talking live for an hour all about sales concepts built around IUL. So I promise you, you're going to love his presentation, and it's going to bring your IUL sales to a new level. If you're a rookie or a veteran that's been doing this for 35 years, it doesn't make a difference. Everybody will walk away with something. So just remember that April 3rd is the Expo in 2020, so make sure you are there. There's going to be great IUL training as well. Okay, so back to the training tiles. So what you're, Joe, let's back up one more second. If you're looking at the buttons in front of you, you just click and it opens up and everything you need is at your fingertips. On the right side, what we did there is we know all of our tools and technology. It could be very overwhelming at times. I mean, I know agents personally that I brought on to the platform 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they say, Bill, oh my gosh, I didn't know you had a free scholarship program I can give out to all my clients, and it's a $40,000 value. That's huge. Why didn't you tell me this? Okay, so the reason for that, and I'm just going to simplify your world right now in 2 seconds, we came out with the iGenius playbook, okay? And this is just a picture you click on, okay? It's on the right side. You click on the picture, and every single tool, platform, sales program, everything that you can imagine is on this one picture. And it's all broken down by number, and you just click more info, and it gives you the information right in front of you. So if you have any downline agents, what I would do to simplify their world, just send this picture or attachment. They click on it, and then everything that we have available is now available to them. And it's just basically like a menu when you sit down at a restaurant. But we wanted everything to be in one spot so you can understand it in black and white in layman's terms. So between the training section on the left side and the infographic on the right side, that is everything Levinson has to offer. And as we grow and add more resources and value add, we're going to add to these 2 platforms, which again will help you in your sales world. Okay, let's move forward here. And what we're going to do is take another couple minutes, and then I'm going to introduce our guest speaker today, which is Tyler. I want everyone to know what are our IUL core carriers here at Levinson. This is very, very important. Yes, we have access and direct contracts with most of the IUL products and carriers that are available in the U.S., but what you're looking at on the screen in front of you is our core carriers, okay? Most of our production and premium goes to these companies in front of you. Now, what we also did is we put a little red asterisk next to the carriers, okay, where you can sell an IUL and give to that client at no charge a 1-year scholarship. Okay, 1 year of tuition to any of our 400 colleges in the country, okay, for their children or grandchildren, or even if little Johnny and little Susie want to go to Florida State and they're not in the program, the client can give out the scholarship to any other blood relative, okay? So it's a great value add. It doesn't cost the client anything. It doesn't cost you as the agent anything to be in our program. And by the way, this is exclusive with Allianz, Mutual of Omaha, Kansas City Life, American National, and LSW, Life of the Southwest, otherwise known as National Life Group. So there you have it. We have 5 carriers where if you sell an IUL, you give out the free scholarship. There's no minimum premium, no cost, no nothing. We even have a self-enroll button on our website where you literally send your client your Insure Me Now direct link, and they can self-enroll right from the platform in minutes. So it's very easy. They get like their own online checking account where they can look at all their points every year. If you do an annual policy review, that's 500 points or dollars. If they send a referral to you, they get another $500 or points in their account. So it's also a great way for you to keep your name in front of your clients, which, as we all know, is key, right? So all of those companies in front of you are our core carriers. Another company I'm going to point out here is Emeritus on the bottom right-hand corner. They have some awesome living benefits that are all included. So it's like the new type of life insurance that pays while your client is still alive. And it's all built in. There's no extra rider fees. It's all one product, very easy to understand. Comp, by the way, is awesome. Full advance. I would definitely look at Emeritus, but the scholarship program is a great value add. If you're marketing on social media or trying to drive traffic to your website, you can market that scholarship program because it allows you to wear another hat that says, hey, I can help with college funding. I'm not just some life insurance salesperson, right? So we all know how that works. This is an awesome way to drive traffic to you, which will open doors. So great stuff there. Those are the 5 scholarship approved carriers in a nutshell. And then again, all of our other core companies. Okay, moving forward here, we're going to jump right into the software. So real quick, and this is important. So what we have done is we teamed up with an awesome software company that we're going to go over today. In fact, they're the only IUL software that is carrier compliant with most of our companies. Okay, there's no other IUL software that is 100% compliant with a carrier today. Okay, I don't care what emails you're seeing or infographics, there is nothing else that exists that's like this. And by being a Levinson agent, you get about a 15 to 20% discount. So it's a great way to attract new clients. And when you're sitting down, it gives you an awesome presentation system that Tyler's going to run into. So real quick, that's our IUL Experience site, which has all of this stuff built in, and it was built to help train you and make sure you're comfortable when you're explaining indexed universal life. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, so what I want to do real quick is just explain pricing around Stonewood, our software company that Tyler's going to shed some light on. I want everyone to understand the way this works. So before he starts, if you are a Levinson agent, okay, you're, let's say, brand new to us, the typical price of the IUL sales software is $2,100. As a Levinson agent, you pay $1,800, okay, which is $150 a month. Now, if you are active with us and you're writing at least $1,700 of premium a month of IUL policies or premium, right, we pay for you. It's free. So you get full complimentary access. All of those little tiles that you're looking at in front of you is part of the IUL Stonewood software package. So there's a seminar presentation system, there's a IUL prospecting book, you can look at tax pluses and minuses. We have downside, let's say worst case devil's advocate. You can show an illustration of what that looks like. It basically helps you help the client understand an IUL in layman's terms. It makes things very easy once you get your arms around the platform. So what we have done is we brought Tyler on from Stonewood, who's going to dive in a little deeper. My goal is that everyone on the call is comfortable with this. And again, if you're writing that minimum number of IUL premium, we pay. If you're not writing anything, you pay $150 a month, which comes out that you have to pay by the year. So it's $1,800, and the retail price is $2,100. So a nice cost savings as a Levinson agent. Without further ado, I want to introduce Tyler Randall from Stonewood. He's going to jump in a little deeper to make sure everyone is comfortable. Tyler, you there?
Yes, hi, Bill. Thank you. Appreciate having me on the call today, and appreciate everyone joining us. I'll just jump in here, and I'll take you through a little bit about Stonewood, a little background, and I'll share with you some of the marketing material that is available for you to be able to drive IUL sales and revenue. Stonewood is simply a marketing and software company. We're here to help you increase your IUL sales and revenue, and we've done that effectively by simplifying the messaging to prospects and clients so people can understand the value proposition. And then when we get clients and prospects that want to come in and meet with us, we simplify the reporting so that you can have a compliant report you can put in front of a client that isn't 40 or 50 pages of IUL illustration where nobody knows what the heck they're looking at if they've never seen it before. We give you a one-page report. I'm going to share those with you that somebody knows exactly what they're seeing, exactly what the value is. And typically the numbers speak for themselves, and it becomes a very nice track for you to run on. If you're doing IUL, this will help you do more. If you're not doing IUL but you'd like to, this will give you a very simple process from a marketing and meeting standpoint so you can close a lot of business. And we've years and years and years of people just crushing it in the IUL space, being able to do a lot of business with what I'm going to share with you here over the next few minutes. So a little background on Stonewood. Our company was set up by a guy named Martin Ruby. He's an actuary by trade, ran several life insurance companies, built out a lot of the early life products that have been sold over the last 30 years. Now it's just kind of a noted expert and speaker on IUL, and he wrote these two books that we have turned into full marketing programs. The first book, The New Rules of Retirement Savings, is a book designed to engage the young saver, young professional, doctor, lawyer, business owner, has additional non-qualified money that they'd like to take and to utilize a tax-free IUL as a 401k alternative. And those are terrific. Those are bread and butter sales. There's a lot of those to be had. And so that book is designed to be given as a prospecting book to those young professionals and savers, and they can very easily see why an IUL makes a lot of sense versus continue to save 401ks or IRAs or other qualified plans. The other book, The No Compromise Retirement Plan, is really designed to engage the baby boomer. So 60 and older, they've already saved in a 401k or IRA or some sort of qualified plan. And the message in this book is to talk to them about why it may be beneficial to take some of the money out of that IRA, pay the taxes now. Well, taxes are a known quantity. They're artificially low, and get that money into an IUL or tax-free vehicle so that we can immunize all the future growth and income on that money from tax rate increases that many think are coming. In fact, we know they're coming in 2026 when the current tax code sunsets. We just don't know what's going to happen beyond that. And when you have an IRA, you have a tremendous amount of tax risk there. And so this book just helps shed some light on why it might be beneficial to do an IRA to IUL conversion. And that is really where anybody in our membership base, and we've got a lot of them doing 7 figures target plus, they're concentrating on this. They've got a nice little window between now and 2026 to really go after this marketplace, and you can really do a lot of business and a lot of good for your clients and prospects by sharing this strategy. So our marketing catalog, if you're doing seminars or would like to, there's PowerPoint seminars based on both of those books that basically pulls the book and puts it in PowerPoint form so you can deliver it to a group or an audience of prospects or clients. You can customize the books if you wish. You can put your picture and bio on the back. There's a compliant forward that you can, forward by your name and put it in the book, and it's very much customized. A lot of people like to say we've partnered with an actuarial firm that has a very powerful tax strategy, and here's a book on the topic, and it's a really nice marketing piece. And we have one guy in Texas, I'm thinking of specifically, he has done about 400K target premium. All he did last year, the only thing he changed marketing-wise, is he gave the books to clients and prospects and asked them to read it before they came in to get a meeting, and he was able to deliver a lot of IUL from really doing none at all. A lot of marketing around digital, radio. If you're doing any of that, there's content in our marketing catalog for you. If you'd like to just use simplified client brochures or handouts or worksheets, there's a lot of that. White papers. We've got a white paper on IRA to IUL that's written by an actuary, and that plays very well in the CPA market. So if you're marketing or networking with CPAs, that might be something that is of interest to you. And really, it's our software. Once we get an interest in IUL, what do we do with the client when they come in? Well, we try to give you a very simple track to run on, and we call it tax income and risk. Taxes is what we lead with, and so we have tax analysis where you can customize a tax report, show a client exactly what kind of taxes they're going to face if they do nothing and continue just to own that IRA as is. And we show them what the tax ramifications would look like if they converted a portion of that IRA to an IUL and the tax savings. Very clear. I'm going to show you an example of that here in just a second. Income analysis, comparing IRA income to IUL income. And then the last report that I'm going to share with you today is a cost analysis where, the big concern or objection usually that comes up around insurance is that somebody Googles life insurance and thinks it's expensive, or they have that really smart brother-in-law that we've all run into that says don't buy life insurance because it's expensive. Well, we do a simple one-page compliant cost analysis. We'll make it very easy for you to overcome those objections and have those conversations where a client gets it. Now I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like here in a minute. But that's the combination of marketing and reporting available to you through Stonewood to help you increase your IUL sales and revenue. And the common theme amongst all of our marketing and reporting is we lead with taxes, always engaging the client to say, or prospect, I can help you save hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes over your retirement years if you'll sit down with me and I can share a very simple strategy with you. That gets people's attention. A lot of cases, it can be millions of dollars if you have somebody in a high bracket. We also share the importance of a tax-free income, especially in a rising tax environment. And of course, reduction of risk, wanting to take market risk. So taxes, income, and risk, those are the themes you'll see in our books, our seminars, and all of our client-facing material. So let me show you what those reports look like. Here's an example of a good prospect or client for us to sit down with. Jim here, he's $60.5 million in an IRA, 25% tax liability. We're just going to have a simple conversation with him. Should he keep and maintain this IRA, status quo, do nothing, and take his RMDs when they're mandated and then die with it? Or would it be beneficial to him from a tax, income, and risk standpoint to carve out a piece, pay the taxes now over the next, let's say, 5 years? A lot of these are 5 pays, and get that money into a tax-free IUL so we can immunize the future growth and income of that money from taxes that may be much higher in the future. So in order to have this discussion, we lead with taxes. And we have a scorecard on our site that kind of gives us a track we run on, and we hit, Mr. and Mr. Klein, we're going to talk about what's the tax savings we can help you with here first. So to do a tax analysis, we've got to make some return assumptions on his portfolio. So there's a calculator on our site. This kind of looks like it, where you can, customize the performance of the portfolio and deliver and show what you'd like to show to the client. This is a 50-50 portfolio, 7% stock growth, 3.5% fixed rate, 5.25% growth rate. So for Jim, he's got $1 million in AUM. He's got $500,000 in annuity. So he's fairly diverse when it comes to the market. Most AUM products are. He's got some annuity for some guaranteed income, so he's kind of diverse when it comes to income, but he's got no tax diversification. In other words, this account has never paid any taxes, and all of the future growth is going to be subject to whatever tax rate environment that the IRS wants to dictate. And so we like to just let clients know, hey, when you go into a qualified account, you get a business partner, and that business partner is the IRS. And for Jim here, right now they're 25% business partners. They're going to take 25% of whatever you have coming out of this for income, but they can change their mind. They could be 50% owners. They could be 60% owners. We never know what kind of ownership they're going to be and what kind of business arrangement do you want to be in where your partner can change the ownership of your money. And that in this case, we're just going to suggest let's take some of that risk out of the equation. Let's take $500,000 and pay the taxes now. We know what they are. They're a known quantity. They're very low historically. And so what this client is going to do, or what we're going to suggest that he does, is takes $100,000 out in 2020. 25,000 of that 100 will go to the IRS and satisfy the tax debt that Jim owes, and 75,000 will fund an IUL. And we'll repeat that over the next 5 years until that IUL is funded. And so we're going to suggest to him to do this, number one, from a tax standpoint. So what would his taxes look like if he did nothing? And what would the tax benefit be if he took us up on this suggestion and converted to a tax-free IUL? So if he kept the money in the IRA, here's the breakdown. He'd pay $170,000 on this $500,000 slice of his IRA. He's going to pay $170,000 in RMDs alone. If you reinvest those RMDs back in another non-qualified taxable vehicle, that creates taxes to the tune of about $53,000. And when he dies with this IRA, the money gets taxed to the heirs. And in this case, if the heirs are in the 25% tax rate, it's going to be $100,000 on the value of that account. And we have Jim here passing at age 90. So the total taxes is about $324,000 potentially on his $500,000 slice. And this is what really opens people's eyes. It pisses a lot of clients off to know they've got to pay. What? I'm going to pay $324,000 in taxes on $500,000. How is that possible? So we are now shaking them up a little bit and suggesting that we have some simple strategies to help them eliminate or lower a lot of these taxes. And so if we convert to a tax-free Roth or IUL, and by the way, our reporting, because it's simplified, we use Roth as kind of a placeholder word for tax-free, and we pivot and say, there's other tax-free options that we prefer to use. The IUL is one of them, to name 3 reasons: the living benefits, death benefits, and the protections they afford. and you can very simply go into that. But just evaluating taxes, which is what we're doing, converting to a tax-free investment, they would pay about $125,000, or Jim would, on the conversion, nothing on the growth, nothing at death. Total is $125,000. And so the report that we produce off of our software, this is it. This is a thumbnail of it. It's the potential tax impact report. It gives the value of the account, the amount that you want to convert, and shows them quite simply two paths. One, stay on the path you're on. You're going to pay a lot more in taxes to the tune of about $324,000. We can convert and use a strategy where we're taking advantage of the low tax environment we're in. And in that regard, we'll only pay $125,000. We can't pay any less than that, but we can minimize your taxes down to the minimum by using a conversion strategy. And by the way, we think that value on the left is very conservative look, because we're assuming Jim here stays it's a combined federal and state tax rate of 25% his entire retirement of 30 years here. And the likelihood, or the look into our future that might happen, there's not very many people, if we're interviewing them and say, do you think taxes are going to move up or go lower? Most people think they're going to move up. If that happens, you're going to see that number grow to a very big number on the left. In fact, our software allows you to show a rising tax environment. So if you want to start Jim at his current tax environment of 25%, and then show what happens if it would move to 35 or 45% over his retirement years, that number gets bigger and bigger. And obviously, if we do more than a 5.25 rate of return on his money, that gets bigger. And so the point is that we are able to show a client exactly what we want to do or represent from a tax standpoint, and then show them a simple strategy on converting and minimizing the taxes. And this right here this report should be in front of every client and prospect over the age of 60 with qualified money, because you're giving them, number one, information they probably have never seen, which is how much taxes they're going to pay over their lifetime. And number two, you're giving them a solution to save them hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. And now you've got their attention, and now you're going to have a prospect start to become a client. So we like to tell them what we told them, just kind of sales 101. We tell them what we told them, and tell them again. Here's our scorecard to tell them what we just told them. The difference between staying on the path that you're on or using this tax strategy I'm sharing with you is about $199,000 of tax savings. And we kind of couch that as optional taxes. These are optional, and of course, nobody wants to pay an optional tax. They want to minimize the tax, and that's exactly what you're able to help them with. Next thing we talk about is income. How does your income compare if you keep this qualified account, and what kind of cash flow could you expect versus an IUL? We run an IUL illustration, and we show the cash flow potential from the IUL. And so for the qualified account, again, all these are inputs in the software. You control the IUL illustration. You control the rates of return. This is just how we shared this with Jim. On $500,000, growing at 5.25 rate of return, value of the account $685 at age 70. And we just asked our software, what's the maximum amount Jim could pull out of $685 each year so that he has income that lasts until age 100? And that value is $34,000. And of course, we haven't taken any taxes into consideration here, so he's got to pay taxes. Net amount is $26,000 a year. Total net distributions from age 70 to 100 for Jim is $783,000. So what we hope to accomplish here is to give him a snapshot of, here's your cash flow you could expect. You stay on the course that you're on, about $26,000 a year after tax, $783 total distribution. We ran an IUL, and we did the same thing. We just said, what's kind of if that's the max income I could expect from my IRA and it's $500,000, what could I get from the IUL and the $375,000 that's left after I paid $125,000 in taxes? So when we ran the IUL, the value grew to $445 by age 70, and the income, potential income, was $36,000 a year, or $1.2 million of total distributions, including a death benefit at the end at age 100. So here we can do a side-by-side, and this is actually what the one-page report looks like, of IUL income and IRA income, and a client can see the numbers kind of speak for themselves. And so if you look at the thumbnail sketch on the right, the IUL Illustrated Value Report, this is what I'm talking about, is simplifying the meeting with a client. This is one page. The report is actually 5 pages, There's another page that gives a detailed analysis of a year-by-year breakdown of income and growth and count values and et cetera. And the others are disclosures. So when you select a carrier, you select a carrier from our software and the product, the small print down there is the carrier disclosures. So now you have a one-page report that tells the story. Premium invested, value at age 70, potential income, total distributions over your retirement years. So instead of 40 pages of confusion where you're thumbing through and fumbling through in a presentation, now I've got one simple page that tells the cash flow story, and I can side by side and say, hey, you can take the IRA income. In fact, that thumbnail on the left shows if we tried to match the IUL income, we'd have to pull out we're going to pull up $48,000 a year to net 36. Income would only last until age 88. And these numbers and these reports really kind of work in conjunction and speak for themselves. So as we kind of tell them what we told them, you can continue to use your IRA distribution strategy, or you could look at the tax-free distributions from an IUL. If we look at the difference between those two plans, it's about $500,000 we've created from the IUL. And by the way, we haven't even discussed what if taxes move up. If tax rates move up, your net income on the IRA moves down. We are going to be affected in a big way on that IRA. And having that money diversified through a tax-free vehicle like the IUL, tax rates move up, our net income is not going to be affected because of tax rate increases. And that's very important. I think a lot of people get that. So the last thing we talk about is risk, and this is just another reason why we don't suggest you use an unprotected Roth account, because it's subject to market risk. You're going to feel those big economic downturns and the value in your account drop. An IUL investor over the same period didn't have those big economic downturns, still participated nicely in the market. And so we have a lot of iterations of these with different cap rates, depending on what product you're going to use, but the message is always the same. Protect the asset on the downside, participate for your retirement dollars on the upside. And that's what the IUL offers, is a big risk reduction. So kind of keeping score, we showed them a report, $200,000 of tax savings by working with you, implementing a conversion strategy, $500,000 of tax-free income, working with you and implementing a tax-free income strategy, and really taking market risk off the table for this portion of their portfolio. And so the objection that always comes up is cost. Oh man, that all sounds great, but when I Google life insurance, it's really expensive, isn't it? Well, if we look at the illustration and we see all the cash coming out the first 10 or 15 years, we all know that these things are front loaded and expensive in the early years, but they become very cheap towards the end of the hold period. And that's hard oftentimes to communicate because clients just see dollars coming out. So you use our one-page cost analysis report where you're able to say, hey, I thought this was going to be a concern for you, Jim. I know if you hold this contract from age 60 to 90, what we do with our Stonewood software is we convert the actual expenses to a percentage form, and we average out the expense over the hold period. So now we can compare the actual expense of an IUL versus whatever vehicle they want to compare it to, mutual funds, ETFs, 401ks, because everything else in the industry is done like that. You pay 1% or 50 basis points for this or 1.5% for this. Nobody just shows cash out of the contract like a life insurance illustration. So for Jim, from age 60 to 90, his average expense is going to be 1.08%. And we like the way that stacks up just again, about just about anything you want to compare it to. You can go apples to apples and overcome the cost objection or concern very easily. And every contract is going to be different. We capture IUL data points off the illustration, plug it into our software, and create this report. And some are more expensive, some are less expensive. I did one the other day. It was a guy like this. It was 25 basis points. Way easier conversation to have around expenses when you can show a compliant report like this. All that small print is the carrier compliance, and talk to them in percentage form so they can compare it apples to apples to whatever it is they want to compare it to. So in closing here, those are the types of reports, in addition to the books and the marketing and the seminars, that allow us to simplify the message out to the general public and prospects. Once we get them in our office or we get a meeting with them, wherever that may be, we've got a simplified report that we can show them the numbers. Here's your tax savings. Here's the income we can create. Here's the risk we can reduce. Here's the cost for all of this, very reasonable. and we can close a lot more business utilizing Stonewood. We've seen it done over and over and over again in the industry, and we hope that we can help you and your business in 2020 really move the needle in IUL sales.
Great stuff. Tyler, that was awesome. Right to the point. So also what we're going to do is send out a thank you email to all participants today, and we'll include directions on how to get started. We also have the IUL prospecting book that Tyler showed. That's available for just $6. It's a co-op price. It's normally $20 on Amazon. We also have a consumer video that opens the door and makes the IUL sale for you. That's freaking awesome. We're going to include that as well. If you don't get our thank you email by the end of today, please call or email me or Joe. We'll get that sent out to you, no problem. Okay, what I want to do now is I'm going to show you a bunch of resources, marketing material, all built around IUL, even lead programs Joe is going to tap into, but I hope you're paying attention, please. And we're just about done. And then we're going to ask the 2 questions. And again, whoever answers first wins your choice of our 2 incentives. So Joe will take it from here, and I'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes or so. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So I'm going to actually dive into a little more detail on our IUL Experience platform to kind of show you all the resources that are available. And of course, you will be receiving the link to access this microsite this afternoon. You can jump in there and start pulling all these resources as early as this afternoon. So real quickly here, there is some awesome training material on the website. Of course, our IUL Masters class, which kind of gives you a full overview. And we're going to be mentioning our upcoming annual Expo. We're going to have some great speakers there focusing on the IUL experience. Like Bill mentioned, Joe Ross, one of the hands down best IUL presenters in the industry. So a lot of great resources there. Another great thing that I always get asked about from agents is, hey, I ran an illustration. I understand how the IUL product works, but now how do I present this to my client? Because the last thing you want to do is get that illustration that's very, very complicated and convoluted in front of your client and say, okay, here's the product. You need a simple, easy way to be able to explain that IUL product. Of course, using the software you just looked at in addition to all these different materials is really key. So we've got every carrier broken down, even simple things that are like campaign in a box, that are grab and go promotions, prospecting tools, training, client approved videos, PowerPoints, presentations, everything at your fingertips to be able to say, hey, I'm presenting this particular product, whether it's AIG or North American or LSW, and having that compliant approved material that's really designed for that client to help you explain the product and make the sale, which is really the name of the game when it comes to these different IUL products. In addition to that, we've got some awesome training here for agents, some great webinars, pre-recorded sales sessions, anything from marketing to different generations to kind of prospecting for IUL clients, what to look for, how to actually present the IUL product based on the sales strategy. So whether it's college funding, supplementing retirement income, or maybe even using it as a neat little business funding scenario, there's all sorts of different videos and walkthroughs that not only show you how to promote that particular use of that IUL product, but what to say as far as sales scripts, how to position the product, how to assess the need. So awesome material available for all these different uses. And keep in mind, the IUL product isn't really just used for cash accumulation for, let's say, retirement supplement plan. There's all sorts of different strategies we can use and dive into the platform, especially incorporating a lot of the living benefits that are available at no cost inside of these IUL products. It really opened up a whole avenue of additional marketing resources for our agents to be able to go after new clients and new prospects that were looking for something a little bit different than your traditional life insurance product. So all that's available right at your fingertips. Another great thing is kind of getting a handle on all the different carriers, all the different products. We put together this awesome chart. We update this monthly. It basically shows you a breakdown of every carrier, the issue ages, whether they have to be pre-appointed, whether there's simplified underwriting. We now have underwriting up to $5 million without a paramed exam. So some great options there. We can get policies issued in just a couple days. Additional carriers up to $3 million, $1 million. So depending on what you're looking for, we definitely have an option. This also shows the cap, the participation rate, the Comdex rating, whether there's an e-app, if there's scholarship approved. So depending on your marketing angle, these are all things you need to be able to know when going into that IUL sale to make sure that you're positioning the best product for that client. And that's also what our marketing team here at Levinson can help you with, is making sure you've got the right product for the right need. We'll run the illustrations, look at everything, make sure we're adding the right riders so that you're uniquely positioning that IUL to be the best sale for that client. So all those resources in one spot. Also the scholarship platform. I know we had a slide earlier that mentioned which carriers have that scholarship platform. This is a huge advantage, especially if you're designing that IUL for college funding. Just a great way to be able to add an additional benefit for all of your clients at no cost, basically giving them 1 free year of college tuition paid for just by working with you as their agent. So awesome, awesome tools. All those different trifold brochures, compliance approved materials, even sales videos, Professor 101 series, are all available inside this platform, so you can access those today. We even have a client-driven platform that's part of our Insure Me Now Direct tool, where your clients can actually go on your own branded website, put in their information, enroll in the scholarship platform without ever having to pick up the phone to kind of learn more about the process. So it's all completely turnkey, very simple. There's a great picture there of Bill wearing the scholarship pin. We do have those available. If you're interested, reach out to the office, but those generate leads. Agents wear those to the grocery store, to Starbucks, and people say, hey, you know, what's with the pin? It generates conversation, and then you can dive into that IUL sale and take that specific approach based on what that client's looking for. So all this material available right at your fingertips. You can go right to the website or wait for my email this afternoon, and you'll have access to every single tool. Also, IUL Leads, we dove into the sales books. We also have a great live transfer lead program that you can position specifically for the IUL program. Just a great way to talk to new people about the platform. And imagine just having your phone ring and having that client on the other end, so you can jump right in and make that sale and make that presentation on the IUL product. So great resources. Again, we'll send out all these details in today's thank you email, which you'll receive this afternoon.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. Thank you. So this is another campaign that we have, and another way to supplement your income in a huge way for the new year. Okay, if you haven't looked into premium finance recently, it's a totally different program from years and years ago. There was a lot of myths and rumors around this program and this concept, and now with our third-party premium finance partner, it's a different world, okay? So everything is 100% compliant above board. And what we're going to do for the first time ever at this year's Expo on April 3rd, we have our premium finance funder and vendor. They're going to actually present at the Expo and have a booth out front if you have any questions. The bottom line is one case can change your year. And I'm going to give you a quick example of this. And before I jump into the case study, I also want to mention we have a new, so there's basically 2 programs, and the first one is brand new. And, you know, in the past, agents always thought, oh, you know, my client has to be worth at least $5 million of net worth and up to even qualify or look into this. Well, that's not the case any longer. So we have a new program that's starting at just $1 million of net worth. So if you have a prospect that has a net worth of at least $1 million and they make at least $100,000 of salary annually, then they will qualify for our new program. Okay, so that is key. If I were you, I would be looking into your network and looking at your old book of business and seeing who could qualify, who could I talk to about premium finance. I mean, this is a huge opportunity. I'm going to explain exactly why. So if you look at the right side here, this is an exact case that was placed the end of last year. Okay, and the agent walked away with a check for over $350,000 on one case. Okay, so this particular agent sold a universal life product with no living benefits about 10 to 12 years ago. Okay, so we're focusing now on the right side. It was a male 45, preferred health. This happened to be an attorney. and the agent sold a $2 million old school UL with no living benefits. The cash value was just under $350,000. So the agent said to his existing client, he said, Mr. Klein, would you consider rolling this over into the new index UL, the new kind of life insurance that has living benefits built in? And what I can do, Mr. Klein, for the same premium that you're paying now, I can give you 6 times the death benefit, okay? So instead of a $2 million death benefit, I'm actually going to give you a $12 million death benefit, and you're not going to pay 1 penny more. Now, who's going to say no to that? As long as the client's still healthy, no one's going to say no to that. Okay, well, what do you know? The client said, absolutely. So here, about 8 weeks later, the client has a new $12 million indexed universal life product with built-in living benefits at no charge. We 1035 the cash value into the new IUL. The agent walked away with a commission check of just over 350 grand and had the best year of his life. Okay, the client was super happy. The agent was obviously very happy. This was a win-win, and the best part, guess what the split was? The commission split to the premium finance third-party company? 0. Okay, it didn't cost the agent 1 cent of commissions to utilize these services and get this policy placed. So this is a slam dunk, okay? Even if you're not that familiar with premium finance, I did a podcast. I interviewed the owner of the vendor one-on-one for 1 hour. We spoke all about premium finance. You should go listen to that. We even have a YouTube version that you can watch for free at any time. But my goal is to make sure that our agents are comfortable with just enough to be dangerous. So you can pick up the phone and call that old client. If you know any physicians, attorneys, typically white collar, I would bring this up to them. And it doesn't have to be an existing case. This could just be a new concept, a new life insurance policy, and we can leverage the premium financing, okay? There's a great program. And like I said, there's 2 programs out now, one starting at just $1 million, then the second one starts at $5 million and up of net worth. So if you're interested, let us know. And again, we will have the vendor at our expo. They're going to be presenting live, and then we'll have their booth out front so you can ask questions. And the goal is to make sure you're comfortable. We even have a estate planning attorney that works with us here that can get on the phone with you and your client to make sure that they understand everything and that everything is 100% above board. Okay, so great stuff here, and that's another way to supplement your, especially on the IUL side, a great way to supplement your income for the new year. If you land one of these, it changes your year, as you can see here. Okay, moving forward here. We're just about done, by the way. I know we're running right before 3 p.m. Eastern. So the Agent Expo, make sure you're there. This year, we're going to have an agent panel. Like I said, we'll have our premium finance vendor. He is a professional that's been doing this for over 20 years. He'll be speaking live. We're going to have some great keynotes, all of our core carriers presenting. There's going to be over 300 agents and GAs. Make sure you register now before it gets filled up. April 3rd, 2020. It's free. We have breakfast, lunch, snacks throughout the day. We even do a dinner the night before for our out-of-towners. And then what we do here is if you qualify at just $15,000 a premium, we pay for a free night at our beachfront resort. If you qualify at $40,000, we'll pay for your round-trip airfare and 1 free night. And then $50,000, you get all of the above and 2 free nights at our beachfront resorts. You can make a vacation out of it. It's a great spot in South Florida, right on the sand. Okay, moving forward here is our Bill Levinson Experience podcast. If you haven't listened, you are missing the boat. It's free, by the way. Check it out on your favorite podcast channel, even on YouTube or through our website. I feature these different guest speakers every single month. I launched this about a year ago now, and we have a Forbes 400 participant. We have the owner and founder of iPipeline. We have Joe Ross. He spent an hour with us. We have one of our top agents from Tennessee. He's on for an hour. I have next week is another top MDRT agent. In fact, this agent sells a bunch of IUL. He's going to be speaking next week. That's going to be an awesome one. Don't miss it. Check it out. We have a bunch, and what's so neat here is just last week, if you're looking at the slide in front of you, Larry Zinn, he's a partner in the largest automotive group in the country, 33 years old. His story is so impressive, and he talks about how they leverage websites and social media to drive new sales to their dealership, which, by the way, is 800,000 square feet in Miami that they just finished. But the point is, we all need to be thinking how we can drive traffic and leverage social media for new leads and prospects. So it's the same concept, obviously a different industry, but at the end of the day, we're just looking to open doors and share our story, whether it's a new Range Rover or an indexed universal life product. So you got to learn and strategize, okay? It's the only way you're going to grow, especially these days. The younger generation, they're online, they're on their smartphones 24/7. So how can we maximize and get plenty of eyeballs that are looking at us, right? So the old insurance quote conversation comes up. Anyway, take advantage. Check it out when you get a chance. I want to know your thoughts. Leave a review, and I'll mail you personally that new IUL prospecting book on us. All you have to do is leave a review on our podcast channel, please. Okay, we're going to ask our two questions. This is my favorite part of the webinars. We'll start with the first one. So whoever answers first wins, and we're going to announce the winner right now. See that little question box on the right side? Make sure your keys are ready, your fingers are flexible and warmed up. The first question is, our new premium finance program starts at what net worth? There's a minimum net worth dollar figure. So if your client has this much net worth, they can qualify for our new program. What is that number? Whoever answers first wins, and Joe's going to tell us who that agent is. Joe?
Yep, the winner is Evan F. from Colorado.
Evan F. from Colorado. The answer, by the way, is $1 million. So starting at just $1 million of net worth, your client can qualify for our premium finance program. So congratulations, Evan. Just let Joe know whichever prize you want. We will mail it out this afternoon. Number two, there's still another chance here. This is an easy one, and I hope everyone was paying attention. Name just one IUL carrier that we have that qualifies for our scholarship program. Just tell me one carrier. I named 5. If you can tell us one, whoever's first wins our second incentive. Joe?
Yep, the winner is Rob A. And give me 1 second, I'll tell you which state. Utah.
Rob A. from Utah. And what was the carrier that he named, Joe?
Allianz.
Allianz. Congratulations to both of you. We're going to end with this. We just had a horrible tragedy on Sunday that I'm sure all of you are aware of by now with Kobe Bryant. Just a horrible, horrible story. And the guy's such a superstar, in my opinion. And, you know, obviously there's nothing positive that comes out of this for him, his family, and the 7 others that passed away on that helicopter. It's just horrible. But I will say this, I've been listening to a lot of his interviews and podcasts lately, and the guy was such a superstar, great lessons that we can all learn from about, you know, how to maximize and practice and maximize opportunities and make sure that, you know, we're focused. It could be basketball, it could be, you know, writing books, you know, whatever it is. For us, it's insurance and how we can bring value add day in and day out, but you should be doing the same thing, but on a retail level. So there's great lessons to be learned from Kobe. What a great story. And, you know, it's a shame what happened, but I try to learn and spin it into a positive if there's any way possible to do that. So with that said, we're going to end with one of his quotes. If you don't believe in yourself, no one will do it for you. With that said, have a great rest of the week, a good selling. Hope to see you April 3rd at our Expo, and take care. Thank you again.